Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. It's roughly 900 miles down Route 66 from Arizona to Oklahoma. I can be found at attraction number 13, the big blue whale in my hometown of Catoosa, where I was born and raised. Growing up, I was the baby of 3. It took me a long time to learn to speak up, and even longer to learn how to speak in public. I joined Toastmasters to learn structure and form and to develop good habits for preparing and organizing speeches. My journey to Toastmasters can be directly linked to me as an 8th grader being made fun of by my peers for not knowing how to read. In junior high, I was insecure and self-conscious, and I absolutely hated being called on to read out loud in class. At some point, one of my teachers interpreted this to mean that I couldn't read, and that landed me in a special education class, a stigma I would spend years working to overcome. When it came time for me to enroll in college and I realized that speech was a required course, all of that embarrassment and shame of being labeled a slow learner came flooding back. It took enrolling in speech 3 times before I got up the nerve to speak in front of the class. The first 2 times, I was so scared in the days leading up to that first speech that I dropped the course. I eventually managed to pass, but believe me when I tell you, my speeches were not good. I struggled to find my voice, and when I did find it, I didn't have the self-confidence to use it. All of that changed when I experienced what at the time was the greatest loss of my life. In 2014, my only sister passed away unexpectedly, and all I could think about was all the things I had left to say and what I wanted people to know and remember about her. I took the responsibility of writing her eulogy. She left behind a son and 2 daughters and a classroom full of 3rd graders who called her Mrs. Sarton. The funeral was held in the gym at the school where she taught, and there wasn't an empty seat. When it was time, I didn't think twice about getting up to speak. I wasn't nervous or afraid. I walked to the front of the gym, I looked up, and I delivered the best speech of my life. You see, I had come prepared. I knew what I needed to say and how I was going to say it. And I knew what I thought my sister would want me to say. And I spent the days leading up to it writing and rewriting until I got every word just right. So by the time I got up to speak, I was ready. It was almost muscle memory. Grief is a funny thing, and it hits everyone differently. It taught me that when you have something that you can't live without saying and a purpose beyond yourself, it becomes much easier. It's no longer a choice. Speaking that day wasn't about me. It was about getting the message to the audience. I was just the vehicle. In the words of Winnie the Pooh, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Since then, I have spoken in front of many large groups. I've served as an expert panelist for professional forums, and I delivered eulogies for both my mom in 2016 and my brother in 2019. I can safely say that it doesn't get easier, but I do know that I've come a long way from being that little girl in an 8th grade remedial reading course. Every roadblock and detour I encountered while navigating down my own mother road served as the building blocks that got me where I am today, here at Toastmasters with all of you, where we can continue to develop our public speaking skills together. I'm Toastmaster.